Programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Noble Hospital, a brand new name for a Westfield institution which is improving the health of our community every day with quality and compassion. Noble Hospital and Bay State Health, better together.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
It's Tuesday morning, Election Day, November 6, 2018, and we're already arguing. Honest to God, it's Bob Plass.
No, some of it's really funny.
Oh yeah, some of it's really funny, but the most of it is just damn tragic. That's the voice of the kitten of the keys and November's nerd of the
knobs.
Nerd of the knobs.
I like that
one.
Good? I like that one. That's funny.
Nerd of the knobs.
Nerd of the knobs.
All right, good. That's where, even though it's knobs.
I know.
Yeah, but
we go English pronunciation.
Right,
do the
right.
Gallagher style.
Sure, it's exactly right. Then the other person who's sitting here glaring at me is Jay Pagluka, trusty, dusty, lusty, musty, and crusty sidekick. And you better not be too crusty today, because oh man,
have you voted yet?
Well, better yet, did you hear your local liberal yesterday morning?
Who was my local liberal? Could that be me?
Our intern, Abby.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I didn't by chance, because, no, I didn't by chance. I didn't by
sleeping.
Deed. Yes.
Yeah,
by sleeping. Yes.
So she had on a group called Better Angels.
Oh.
And we had a Republican and a Democrat, and a liberal and a conservative.
Yeah.
And their goal is to foster the communication between the groups again.
I love that.
And they hold seminars around the area to do so. They have discussions about a topic like healthcare,
right?
Single payer healthcare,
right?
And they have debates that are respectful, Bob.
I get
respectful, like we do in here.
Oh yeah, no,
we don't get angry at each other. We talk about issues.
Mm-hmm. When did that start?
We've always done that, Jay.
Oh, come on. That's not entertaining.
No, we still make it entertaining.
It is. Of course it's entertaining.
But
how could it not be entertaining?
But at the end of the day, we know we're never probably going to completely agree on everything.
That's right.
But we also very respectful of each other.
Well, we're respectful of our views, and I get angry. I get vociferous. I don't ever scream. I get a little...
it's okay if you get a little heated.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
We call it a lively discussion.
A lively discussion. But, I think that better... I was going to play a song, Barbara Streisand, your favorite liberal vocalist.
Listen,
wait a minute. Let me tell you.
Separate entertainer and political views.
Okay, well, she's got a new album out, which is so political. It's called Walls. And it's and quite honestly, it's a kind of a strange picture on the cover. She's got herself, and she's in this black, it looks like Westeros, or what's that? The Garden of Bad and Evil in some movie. Just dark coal and everything.
That one's yours, Bob.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't taste the Splenda, my coffee we're talking about.
You're not supposed to.
So
I saw decaf on that one. It was not mine.
I kissed the lid of your coffee there for you.
I have no problem with that, Bob.
Me either. A liberal and a Republican.
Love is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So Barbara Streisand...
So wait a minute. So let me tell you about the cover. So she's standing at the wall, this coal mine, looking up into the sky with her profile, always from the.
Can she have every cliche
left.
in the book?
Oh, yeah, I know. This is the problem. I've got,
And she doesn't like her profile. That's my favorite part.
She doesn't like the right-hand side of her profile.
I didn't know that.
No. It's in her contract. Even when she did carpool karaoke, you've got to see that on YouTube with James Corden.
Only the left side.
She's driving because you only can shoot her from so that you show her left side of her nose.
What is there, a wart in the other side?
No. It's
the
supposedly
nose is the same size. Both sides.
Yeah, I don't know. Understand it.
There's the artwork, Jake.
I keep trying to sneak a look at Barbara's. Can you? Yeah. Okay. So do the the right hand side of her nose.
Just turn the screen around.
No,
see the other side.
No. At any rate, she's a lovely older woman now. She's about 2 years older than I. And as you see, doesn't it look like Game of Thrones? She's wearing this Game of Thrones thing and looking up at the wall.
She's trying to climb the wall.
Yeah,
she's now a rock climber.
Yeah. So she's thrown, and I'm a great Barbra Streisand voice fan, but sometimes her selections. But she's got a song on there. I was actually going to play it called Better Angels, about just using, appealing to our better angels. Similar to them.
It goes back to Abraham Lincoln, I think.
Yeah, it's a good phrase. She's got a lot of songs written for her on this album. One is called Walls. The other one is called Don't Lie to Me. That's the big hit. Don't Lie to Me. And it's written directly at the man in the top office.
You could say that. You could say that about every president because they all lie to you.
Well, not like this man. Not like this man. And not like this despicable man. He's the most despicable human being I've ever witnessed. Honest to God. All right, that's my own view.
Really feel,
right. Okay. But wait a minute. Let me tell you about the album. So she's got on there What the World Needs Now is Love, and she's got all these songs that are really well sung, well orchestrated, almost trite but true. Okay, now I nixed her from the program today. I actually nixed her. I had her on. If you'll notice,
censored something.
Yeah, I censored her, not because I didn't. I just thought it was trite. Way down at the bottom, you'll see "Better Angels" by Barbra Streisand.
So, Bob, here's the thing:
Yeah.
when it's over the top for even you. Is that too far?
No.
No, that means it goes back to the beginning and it gets on the program.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go too far in terms of a person's real passion for this country or for an idea or whatever. And I'll give that to the president. Passion. Mm-hmm. But I will not give prevarication. And you know what prevarication is?
No, Bob.
Lying.
What prevarication is.
Lying.
Oh, being a politician.
No, more than that.
Yeah,
more
exactly.
No, more than that.
You know what he reminds me of? Now, whether you're a fan of him or not,
yes.
He reminds me of every Russian leader we have ever heard.
You might try German leader.
Or German leader. It's like,
I'm sorry.
It's like.
Sorry, Bob, he's not Hitler.
No.
Hitler had it down pat.
No, I know.
No.
That's very
and you know
true.
What, though,
well, wait a minute. Let me finish the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's if you remember back in the Cold War days,
yes, go ahead.
Russians would come on the radio or come on the air, and somebody would say, "Oh, here's so and so who just invented this," and no, a Russian invented that first. Whether it was true or not, it didn't matter.
No, it didn't.
Russian would take credit. Well, that's what Trump is doing, and it's just like Al Gore taking credit for inventing the internet.
No, it's
he
not.
Did.
Not
Al Gore invented the internet.
I know. I understand that, and I get being a politician.
Al Gore.
Oh yeah. But I don't. What gets me is this division, and he's standing in front of one rally after another, dividing our country in terms of the idea that all immigrants are bad, and don't tell me that that's not true because he's painting it that way.
But every politician paints to their base.
No, you don't paint division and hatred. You do not paint division and hatred. You don't see there are good Republicans. Ana Navarro, who is one of my favorite Republican strategists today, or yesterday on television, said, I cannot vote she's a Floridian. I cannot vote for our governor. I've got to vote for Gillum. The man running for the Democrat running for the seat in Florida and the governor's seat, and she said it because in the last 3 days, 11 people have been killed because of hate crimes. Hate crimes in America have skyrocketed, and the figures are right there. As somebody from a minority, I really think that that's the bottom line here. That when you talk about hate, and you refuse to apologize. You refuse to honor people, the Americans, the immigrants who have founded America. We are all immigrants, and also to deny the rights of Native Americans to vote. The people were here first, and the voting. What's been happening across America, all the way around, has really saddened me. Okay, we got a good economy. Okay, we've got a great economy, but what we don't have is compromise. What we don't have.
That's not Trump's fault, Bob. That's Congress's fault.
No, it's at the leadership of the time. Okay,
but this happened. But the Congress problem happened long before Trump got into office. That's been happening since the mid '90s, and you can't say it hasn't because that's why Congress's approval rating has been in 20% for 20 years.
I understand that. I understand. Oh, okay, I'm not going to blame the man at the top, but I'm going to blame the man at the top for the inaction in Washington is all in Congress. The man at the top who sets the tone.
I agree with that.
The man at the top who sets the tone. The misogynist, the lying, the homophobic, the liar at the top of our country really needs to stop. And how do we show him how to stop?
Congress gets together and puts him in his place, and it'll never happen because why?
But you can answer
this question.
Congress,
why?
Well, okay, so we've got to put them in their place, and we've got to let Congress know that we do not like the man at the top's actions. Anybody but. If
you elect an entirely Democratic Congress right now, they would still do the same stinking thing.
Maybe they might. I'm gonna, but
because nothing's changed when we've had Democratic Congresses, and nothing's changed.
Peter,
we have Republican Congresses.
Here's what I decided at 5 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
Here's what I decided. I love the work of Charlie Baker, our Republican governor. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I like the way he reaches across the aisle. He called Trump disgusting this week. Okay, he called. There were 3 words in the debate with Jay Gonzalez on Tuesday night, and he actually said 3 words, all derogatory toward Trump. I think he said it honestly from his heart. I don't think it was a political stunt like some people are doing. Huh?
50-50.
What is that?
Because Jay Gonzalez has become coming after him hard just because he's a Republican.
Well, okay,
but he's the most moderate Republican I've ever met.
Yeah, he's a moderate Republican who
that's
I like a lot.
Jay coming after him.
So here is what I decided at 5 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
The world in America, the nation, our nation is under such scrutiny around the world, and the children of America are growing up with a man who hates women, who hates gays, who hates immigrants, who doesn't read, who is just awful, and will lie at the at the drop of a hat. Okay, that's the model that we have for our children.
Wait a minute,
I got to stop that. Wait a minute. Let me finish my rant here. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. Instead of voting for Charlie Baker, like I should, or maybe not like I should, no. Like I would have, because Jay Gonzalez is very good, and I looked up his entire stuff, and he's had a history in education and in health, and worked in the Deval Patrick's government with finance, etc. Not a bad man. Not a bad man. And in ordinary times, if I would probably vote for him. I was going to vote for Baker. but I'm not going to vote for Baker now. And I'm not going to vote for Baker because I have to somehow send a word to the Congress by saying, hey, this Republican who is very popular got fewer votes in Massachusetts because of the man at the top. But that's my thinking.
But see, Jay, I don't vote on emotion. I vote on record. Here's the thing.
Yes, I'm not voting on record today. I'm telling you.
Well, then that's not good either.
No, it is good. When the man at the I'm voting because Charlie Baker will get in. I know Charlie Baker will get in.
You don't know that, Bob.
All right. But I know in my heart that if Jay Gonzalez gets in, we'll be all right. We will be all right, but we will not be all right if we continue to have the country under Donald J. Trump that we have right now.
So what are you going to do if he gets elected to another term?
I'm going to continue to talk out against him. I'm going to continue to try to spread compromise. I'm going to continue to have conversations with folks like yourself and the folks at home. I'm going to try to honestly and truthfully and passionately say, in this country, we deserve a country where people get along. And you can't have the man who runs our country acting as if he was some kind of dictator.
But you were talking about seeds of division. I saw those seeds of division being sowed.
But you cannot.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
We do not.
It comes from the top, Peter.
I know, and it did in the last presidency in the last 4 years. Because some of those seeds of division were sown a long time ago.
Okay, some of those seeds were sown a long time ago. We're here today.
I understand
Let's talk
about
Bob,
but
today.
I look at today, and I also have a view of history.
Yeah.
Because history sets today.
So if we have a view of history,
completely in the moment, then
we look at history and we look at what happened in Germany. Okay, if we look at what happened in Germany, it was the year of my birth, 1945. Somebody was still around. And we know who that somebody was in Germany. That whole fascist movement in Germany happened between 1939 and so. Okay, wait a minute. Before I watched
the whole documentary on the Project Nazi. Really produced by, I think it was produced by the Discovery Channel.
Yes.
And I watched how the Nazis set up things, and I'm watching what's going on today, and it's completely different, Bob.
You watch the leader, but if you watch the leader,
I watched the leader. Everything.
I know, but if you watch the leader of that country, okay, at that time, the vehemence, the hatred that he spewed, everything. Oh, and it's very interesting. You might this week check out. I always get his name wrong. I always call him Steve Reeves. He's so far from Steve Reeves. It's pathetic. His name is Rick Steves. You know, the travelogue guy on PBS. He has traveled. You don't know him?
No.
Oh, he writes all the books about travel in America. He's got a new special out, which I watched this week, called Fascist Europe or whatever. Okay, out of a clear blue, he does this special about fascist Europe, fascism in Europe. Okay, and he does this, the fascist Europe.
Jay's going to do something.
Okay,
funny,
he's going to write me. Shut up. That's what he's going to write. So, fascist Europe. You watch this film. Okay, you watch this special. He doesn't mention anybody. Just watch the special. And I kept watching and I kept thinking, oh my God, it seems so much like today. So much like today. And we can't have that happen. We cannot have that happen. But so interesting. That's where I stand, Peter. That's where I stand. You know, I can't help it.
That's okay.
It's a hard day for me.
But Bob, that's what truly makes America great.
Well, that's what it truly makes America great. And you have a right to your opinion, and you have a right to vote the way you do, and I have a right to vote the way I do. And
I did read up on the candidates, and I do consider myself an educated voter.
Yeah, me too.
I'm still struggling with question 1.
Oh God!
Like, I'm not struggling with question 3. I think the laws are on the books. What's the big deal?
Oh, please God! Don't turn back transgender rights.
Don't confuse your vote. Read the summary, because a no vote actually repeals the law, and I didn't know that, and I found that out by reading the summary.
All right, so
I'm voting yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to vote.
And that was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
Now, are you surprised by that?
Well, I don't think I'm going to be voting yes on that.
You have to vote yes to keep the laws in place.
Oh! If that's the way, I'm going to be voting that. But
I got the summary.
I'm going to read the summary. I'm going to read it.
Take the time, folks, and read the summary of all the ballot questions.
All right. Okay.
Yes, Jay.
Yes.
The views expressed on this program are those of Bob Plass and Pete Coles, and not necessarily
in that
those
order.
of WSKB and management.
There we are. All right. Always the mediator. Always the good man. There we are.
We woke ourselves up.
Yeah. To know that's exactly right. Oh God. I had this as a segment later in the program.
That's okay.
So let's clear our palate by listening to Iron and Wine. Do you know the name of do you know who Iron and Wine is? Do you know?
No,
you have
never heard of them.
Iron and Wine. I was out in, as you know, I was out the last couple of weeks in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and
yes.
Christian Homan, my great nephew, had this song playing on his stereo, and I loved it. And so, without his knowing, I took the name down. Iron and Wine is actually a one person. His name is, I always want to say Jim Beam, but it's not. But Jim Beam is somebody else. His name is Samuel Irvin Beam, but he took his name, believe it or not, from a dietary supplement called beef iron and wine. He found it in a general store while shooting a film. Okay, and he's from Virginia, and he's got some great songs. Unbelievably a good guitar player. Iron and Wine. Oh yeah, I kind of like that he took his name from a dietary supplement. Doesn't that just get you?
And the song is?
The song is Autumn Town Leaves, because the leaves are coming down finally off the trees, and it is autumn. Here you go.
Some get hard, some go home.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it is Election Day in Westfield, November 6, 2018, a very important day.
On purpose, I have red and blue behind you all day today.
Oh, look at that. Fabulous. Yeah, you've got the, if you're
Not
watching
one or the other, I have
15,
both.
Yeah.
And the views expressed by...
the views expressed in our program. Hey, Peter, tell us about this Yahoo thing that you sent out. You sent a thing out yesterday, said that there are people who are listening to our show.
No, it's YouTube, Bob.
Oh, YouTube. Oh,
our YouTube channel.
Oh, our YouTube channel. Talk about that.
We've had a couple hundred people watch our shows in the last month.
No,
thousands.
647 to
thousands of minutes of viewing time of watching our shows on the YouTube channel.
That brings up a good point. A lot of people don't know the various, everybody knows if they tune in their little radio dial to 89.5, we're right there.
Yes.
But there's so many other ways to hear us. Obviously WSKB.org worldwide, but also
WestfieldTV.org if you want to watch us.
WestfieldTV.org.
And now on YouTube. And the nice thing about YouTube is we get metrics as to who's good. Well, not who, but what, how many views we get anyway.
What do you put in on YouTube when you're looking for
You search for WSKB Community Radio, and the channel will pop up as the first listing.
And then you can watch, and it has all the shows.
All of the videos that we put up since the Vimeo account disappeared.
So let's do some regular promos on that. When we'll take a break here and we'll do a quick promo. How to
Jay,
do.
We've been doing that on Facebook for a while now, promoting the channel.
But we could do that. We should do it right here on our channel. Just tell how people who are listening now, if they don't listen next week, they can go on and listen. How do you get people who are not listening now to listen now?
If you'd like to replay that rant of Bob Plass 15 minutes ago.
Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, my God, help me. I sort of feel better.
We just know how to wind him up.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I wasn't even really trying.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm still. I really am wrestling with question one because I read an impassioned letter from Steve Nagel.
It's confusing.
If you saw that on Facebook.
Here's the thing, and it's a frustration that I have with the questions and all of the advertising leading up to it. People are going to walk in there and they're going to vote one way or the other, not realizing exactly what they're choosing because both sides have
made convincing
confused it.
Well, they've made convincing arguments, but what my problem is they estimated that it would cost the hospitals about $49 million to comply with this and keep their current patient bed levels. And they've already spent $13 million to try to defeat the question. Well, if you spend $13 million
you have a few extra bucks in your bank.
Exactly. And somebody just published, I saw this, somebody just published all these health systems that are supposedly nonprofit. I think it was Adam Wright did it. That they all have tens of millions of dollars in offshore accounts. Tens of millions of dollars in offshore accounts.
Well, here's an interesting...
All of them.
Here's a connection. I got to tell you about this. Get this. In Florida,
those are their endowments, maybe.
Florida, there's a vote, a thing on the bill, voting on the bill. Get this. People in Florida are voting against vaping or offshore drilling. It's in the same
law,
same amendment. Yeah.
Now that's funny.
It's a referendum on vaping and offshore drilling. How do you do that?
That's called a sucker bait.
It really is. It really is. Honest
that's
to God,
a sucker bet.
Florida knows how to do it. I got to say,
Florida is. I was down there for a month this summer.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even the primaries yet.
Yeah,
and the political ads were so dirty and nasty on both sides.
Same thing,
it was
same thing
unbelievable.
Yeah,
I'm like, how do you guys deal with this? Being constantly bombarded by dirty political ads.
Here's the problem.
That's how it is in Florida politics.
It's, who knows what's really true? They just take a little bit of what they found and embellish it, and basically they ruin somebody's life whether he wins or not.
And that's part of the problem with American politics right now. Is I always say follow the money, and the money in all of politics is pretty bad right now because you have a group of billionaires on both sides controlling the message.
Somebody really
they bought and paid for everybody.
Yeah, I just saw an article. It was a guy, a rather prominent person in England, was accused of something by the equivalent of our Supreme Court or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It was accused of sexual abuse and actually charged.
Oh,
and then the charges just faded away.
Right.
And he sued the court and won.
Oh, my God.
Because the court did not come forward and say, that was baseless and there was nothing behind it. We shouldn't have done that.
Sure.
He just sued them and won some big bucks.
Amazing.
But not that he needed it.
Is he in politics now?
Yeah, he's in a prominent position, either business or media or something.
Yeah.
But, it definitely had an effect on him.
That 24/7 news cycle means a rush to judgment on everything?
Oh, yeah.
I conducted a master class, and I have yet to do the back end of it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin, Mary Ellen, has been posting just anything she can from the farthest left sites. Doesn't matter whether it's factual or not. She's just drumming up hate on the other side, right?
Sure.
And so I posted an article, and I knew about the other side of it, and I was waiting for somebody. I posted an article about a border agent getting allegedly stoned to death. And so a TV station went out, did the story, covered the death of him and his partner, or the guy died and his partner was severely injured or whatever. They both died.
Yeah.
A legitimate news story. They got a quote from DHS saying that they had no comment. It was still an investigation. The union president for the Border Patrol agency comes out and goes, "This is the reality of life at the border. He got stoned to death because it was a blunt force trauma." The FBI, and I knew about this, and I was waiting for people to post it. The FBI studied it and couldn't find any determination whether he got stoned or just fell off a culvert. So they don't know how this guy died, this Border Patrol agent.
So they don't, but they're
fell off the edge of a cliff like the coyote.
But potentially, yes, but they can't determine whether either one could still be valid, right? So all my friends who do the fact checking for me post all those articles, and I knew about them. And this article was from a year ago, or almost 2 years ago.
Right.
But my point was to my friend Mary Ellen, my cousin, is that don't rush to judgment, just like they did in Ferguson. They rushed to judgment. A year later, they found out when the FBI investigated it to the hilt that cop was fighting for his life and was exonerated. But everybody nowadays posts the first article out there and rushes to judgment. Even the news media does it, right?
It's called a scoop. How fast can I get it out there?
But it doesn't have to be totally right.
And then how can I get people to watch or how to keep watching?
No one ever prints the retraction when they're wrong.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I was trying to tell her that she's posting all this stuff without checking any of it. And from the other side, sometimes I do it to tweak my very liberal friends. Kevin knows I do it. Rick knows I do it. Mm-hmm. They do know, and they respond in kind, and it's a little back and forth we have every once in a while. I don't do it every day.
Sure.
Daily she's been posting this, and I have a real problem with that she's putting out just as much information as she claims the other side does.
Well, if she feels that, then she has a right to do it in America, unfortunately.
Absolutely, she has a right to it, but I also have a right to say, and one of them, I love when people Snopes me, or PolitiFact or whatever.
Snopes you?
Yes, they go to the Snopes website, the fact checkers.
Oh, Snopes. Okay,
Snopes.
I thought it was like Scopes about
or PolitiFact or one of those.
Or whatever.
PolitiFact, one of those.
Yeah.
So So she posted a cartoon about Obama or Trump and golfing, right? Mm-hmm. And how he spent all this money, blah 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 blah. So I went to PolitiFact, looked up the thing, and says it's mostly false, right? It's not completely false. So he is spending money, but the numbers that people are putting out are inflated, right? Uh-huh. And I posted that, and she now won't talk to me at all. And I'm like,
that's why we're having our conversations live, face to face.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody could have these kind of conversations?
But I don't like your face.
And that's why the Better Angels group exists. I put them on the 89.5 Facebook page.
So how do people get in touch with Better Angels?
There's betterangels.org is a national organization. Uh-huh. There's a Massachusetts Better Angels Facebook page, and there's a Western Massachusetts Better Angels Facebook page, and they're going to be hosting events in the area. They had an event at a bar in Northampton talking about single payer health care.
Oh, and they have another drink.
No. They had it in the back. No drinking while the event is going on.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But what they said was they have 4-minute speakers that come prepared both sides. Right. Uh-huh. 2 and 2.
I love this.
And then they break it down from there. And then they have people that talk from their heart.
Yeah.
And there's ground rules. You can't just. They had a guy sniping at. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. And he was a liberal.
Yeah.
And he got into it in the bathroom with another guy, and they were escorted out.
Oh my God!
And they went out. The moderators went out and said, "Guys, you know the rules. You have to abide by the rules if you're going to be part of this discussion."
Sure.
They brought him back, and he's so conditioned. That's a sorry.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And he was so conditioned for it, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of it's conditioning.
It's similar to the way I do. Couples counseling. They often come in with they're hugely angry at one another, and I do this. Harville Hendricks has this great book out about how to talk with one another as spouses, and one of the things is that you just you repeat back what the other person said, just like what you've heard, and then the other person has a chance to say, no, you didn't exactly hear me properly, and you go back and forth in a conversation about what the real truth is and what's behind it.
Well, that's how they kind of treat the Democrats and the Republicans.
That's the way we have to do it.
It's almost like couples counseling.
It's exactly
us
right.
And them.
Oh my God!
We need a break, by the way.
We need a we. Yeah, I don't need to we. I already we. No, I mean, oh gosh. At any rate, hey, I'm reading another book about Gershwin. All right.
Wait, before you go in there, in the same vein, I'm driving down the turnpike, and my wife is searching for new apps. Here's the latest one she found.
What did she find?
She's the most valuable thing on the road.
Where to pee?
Where to pee near me.
Oh,
no way.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, I might need that because I take water pills.
Oh my God, that's a great one. Where to pee near me?
Where to pee near me?
Oh God. Well, I know where I have to. That's the first thing I look for wherever I go. Is where I'm going to pee.
Take pills.
Yeah, you get it. Hey, so I'm reading a book about Gershwin. Okay. Hey, he was a man at 21 who was writing all kinds of wonderful music. He began his career as what's a song pounder? What do you think a song pounder is?
Somebody that just knocks out tune after tune after tune after tune.
I have no
Peter?
idea,
No.
Bob. I'm not going to venture a guess.
Back in the turn of the century, he was born at I think about 1899 or so. So it's the turn of the century, and guess what the big business is? It's sheet music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really sheet music, and records were coming out then, but basically sheet music. Well, publishers would hire pianists to pound out music that people had written, and that was his job. Publishers didn't pay him to write music. They paid him to play other people's music. Now,
good marketing.
Yeah. So Gershwin was a song plugger. Who was working at around the same time as Gershwin was Irving Berlin, and he was a song plugger. What's the difference between a song plugger and a song pounder?
One's marketing and one's just playing it.
What do you think, Jason?
Somebody has to plug in the record player.
Okay. Please plug in the record player, Mabel. Yes. No. A song plugger is somebody who plugs a song to try to make it happen, plays it out in public, etc.
Oh, payola.
Yeah, sort of. So that's where Gershwin began, and he also then was hired to write piano rolls. Piano rolls. Do you have a player piano?
No. But I know what it is.
We had a player piano in my house in Arlington Street in Chicopee Falls, and you'd pump it, and it would play music. So a lot of Gershwin's music is on player piano rolls of him actually playing. And so I'm going to play you one of his first popular songs ever, called Swanee, which I forgot that he wrote. So here's George Gershwin himself on a piano roll playing Swanee.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, Election Day, November 6, 2018. Please get out and vote, regardless of whether you vote Republican or Democratic today.
Secretary of State is expecting almost a 50% turnout statewide for this election.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, 664,000 people voted already in pre-voting, and 4.5 million eligible voters for this election.
Right.
And he's expecting 2.4 million to actually vote. That'd be huge. That'd be great for a local.
Wouldn't that be great that if that continued? Well, if it continued that way forever,
that'd be wonderful. Because what we keep telling people, and I know I have beaten the drum on this for years now, is that local elections mean far, far more than a national election does.
Right.
Like the idiot in the Trump can say whatever the hell he wants, but is that going to affect your day-to-day life? No. Your city councilors, your state reps, your state senators, your governor affect your life far more than Trump or Congress.
All politics is local. Is that the expression?
Yeah, but yes, but it actually decision making means it's more granular at a state and local level than it is at a national level.
Sure, of course.
Because the states disperse the funds at the federal government. You don't get any money directly from the federal government unless you get Social Security or Medicare. But even then, Medicare is run on a state-by-state basis.
Yeah.
Social Security checks come right from the government.
Sure.
But nothing else does. Your tax returns, but you have to pay state taxes too.
Sure.
But, what our city council does on a weekly basis, that's why it's crazy to me that not many people go to city council meetings.
Well, I watch it at home occasionally.
Occasionally.
To be truthful.
If something, but people don't take that interest in state and local politics. I'm still going to vote for John Velas, even though he doesn't have a challenger today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm going to also vote for Congressman Neal, even though I have my problems with him. I still think he does a pretty good job, and he is our congressman, and I'm going to put that vote in the affirmative for him.
Well, there we are.
Are you surprised by that, Bob?
No.
I think the common message going out everywhere all day today, doesn't matter who you vote for. Get out and vote, please.
Just and if you don't know, an American and vote.
And if you don't know something about a question or you're confused, you're better off to leave it blank than to be confused and vote.
Yeah.
I mean, you can leave certain sections of the ballot blank.
You're not obligated to vote on everything. Go in.
Right.
You can leave the whole thing blank.
Yeah.
But at least
that could be a statement. Could be a statement.
Yeah, and I noticed that Texas had a problem with people, the way the computer program was written for this vote, because they have the push button, the touchscreen ones.
Right.
It was funny because apparently somebody screwed up on the coding, because if you hit all Democrat or all Republican, in the Senate race, U.S. Senate race, it puts the other side on no matter which side you press. The programming is screwed up, so the actual programming of how the button works and the cascade down the line.
Yeah.
So if you vote all Democrat, it votes for the Republican. And if you vote all Republican, it votes for the Democrats. So
oh my God!
It's funny as hell, but the programming is screwed up, right?
Oh,
so I don't know how nobody caught this, but I never vote a slate. I never.
Well, that's good, because that shows that you're thoughtful on each category.
I vote for the
line item veto at work.
I vote for the men and women that run, and whether they're good people or not. I read about Jay, and I think he's a good man. I don't think he's as. Now listen to this. I don't think he's as good as Baker, because Baker is the best of both worlds in the sense that he's very good about the financials, right? But he's also very good about the social issues.
Yeah. I really believe that every government should have people on both sides of the aisle working together for a common cause. And
can you please tell that to Congress?
Yeah, all right. I'm going to write a letter later on today. Hey,
I've said it. I've written an email to Congressman Neal saying, you guys have a unique opportunity to set the tone for the country if you could only work together.
Oh, we got to set that tone.
Imagine that, though.
No, very true.
Because they can easily marginalize the knucklehead in chief.
Yeah. Oh no. You got it. Hey, Jay, we were both away last week, I think, and the week before I was away on vacation.
I was here.
You were.
No, you weren't. Because I wasn't here.
No, neither one of you were here.
Just you weren't here doesn't mean I wasn't here.
I went to Chicago and to Wisconsin. Okay. I went to Chicago and I went to Wisconsin. I had a great time in Wisconsin with my family out there, with James's family,
How
my
big a
family.
town is Kenosha?
It's actually it's much bigger than ours. 100 more than that. It's like
a Springfield size.
More Springfield, 140,000.
That's about Springfield size.
150,000,
wow.
And it's a great town. We had a wonderful time.
I think that would be a city.
Yeah, big. Yeah. Well, then I went to the toddling town, Chicago, where my great friends Jim and Mary Nagel hosted James and I, and Oh my God, we had an incredible time in Chicago. We took one of those architectural boat rides around
some beautiful
buildings. The buildings were. Yeah. It was an hour and a half, 90 minutes.
That sounds cool.
Of somebody lecturing us, basically, and with having the buildings in front of us, it was so incredible.
Pictures?
Nah, I didn't take any ones except of myself and my beautiful eyes. Yeah, no, and also
the program definitely takes a quick turn to the left.
I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really. Yeah, but and so you were where? You were in Vegas.
Stage left.
You were at Vegas.
I took a little time off. Went and spent some time in Vegas with Marion for our 30th anniversary, and it was,
Was it a surprise to her?
Yes, and it was I mean, she knew she was going to Vegas, but she didn't know she was staying at the Bellagio. She didn't know we were going to do a helicopter ride down into the Grand Canyon.
Oh my God!
And, that sounds cool.
And neither of us had been on a helicopter before.
You never had? Oh my God!
So I'm thinking, okay, this should be interesting.
Were you on the like a Bell Jet Ranger or something?
I can't remember. It was I can't remember what the bird was, but it was just the coolest thing, and she loved it, which freaked me out. I put her next to the window. I figured that would freak her out, and she's like, this is great, And
really?
Her eyes are glued to the window, and now of course the pilot comes walking out with us, and he's like our son's age.
Sure.
So
I'm
like, oh, how long have you been flying?
So last week. No. So when you go down there, how long are you down going all over the? Is it like a 15 minutes?
It was about a 3-hour tour, and it was about 3 hours, and we took off. Yeah, we took off and went up over a beautiful.
They serve sandwiches.
Or take off out of McCarran?
We were just on the south end of the airport, and you take off, and a wonderful circle around Las Vegas,
right,
and then head off into the desert, goes up over the Hoover Dam, and you get a wonderful view of what's the lake there?
Lake McKinley, I think it is.
Lake Powell.
Lake Powell.
You get a wonderful view of Lake Powell, and then head towards the Grand Canyon.
Oh, that's cool.
It was just unbelievable. This is one of two outfits that actually has rights to land down on the Indian land in the canyon.
Oh, no kidding.
So we come in, this kid comes in, we dive down into the canyon, and I'm still thinking Marion's going to freak out. She doesn't. She thinks this is great.
Yeah.
He turns it up on its side, makes a 180-degree turn, and then lands on this little bluff that's not a lot bigger than the helicopter. There's a picnic table there. No. There's a little windsock, a picnic table. He goes to the back of the helicopter, pulls out a cooler. Here's champagne, a couple of sandwiches.
No kidding.
This is just cool as hell.
A picnic in the Grand Canyon. You didn't mention that.
I had no idea that it was going to be, and she just, this is cool.
Oh my God.
That's very cool.
Oh my God.
Then took
Jason,
off back
romantic.
Yeah.
Really? I'm telling you. I could have been there, and we could have renewed your vows.
Nah. Nah, I don't want to go through that again.
Oh, all right.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed that. The other thing which I kind of surprised myself. The next day, she goes, "Hey, let's go on one of those on and off bus tour things."
Sure.
You buy a bus ticket to hop on and hop off.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
Now we're staying Bellagio, and all the newer resort hotels are all in actually south of Las Vegas proper, in a little township called Paradise. So we weren't really in Vegas. We weren't staying in Vegas. We were in Paradise.
Much better. Paradise over Vegas. Yeah.
Paradise is between Vegas and the airport.
Yeah. So where's Purgatory there? That's Reno.
That's kind of everywhere.
That's Utah. Purgatory's in Utah.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
So we get on the bus and headed north towards the old Vegas. Well, we got into the cheesy, old, everything I expected to see about Vegas. I just, that's what I wanted. We went into the Golden Nuggets.
Old neon.
Yeah, saw the big cowboy with the hat.
Yeah, exactly.
And we went in the Pawn Stars pawn shop. That was actually one of the stops. So I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. Here's Marion going, look, there's the Pawn Star shop. We got to stop. Going, okay.
Did you buy anything?
All right. Yeah, I think I bought a key ring.
Was the guy there?
No.
Were there guys there?
Actually, they were taping in the back room. You know how they do that shot, the breakaway shots in the back room, and this and that, and, it's in the storage area. It's not that big a shop.
No, it's not.
And so it was interesting to walk into that, and it reminded me of, there's another show on Oddities, which was was on some years ago. It was which is a really weird thing shop out of New York City.
Yep.
And when my daughter was little, we brought her down there, and that's what she wanted to do. The one thing she wanted to do in Manhattan was go in the Curiosity Shop.
I love it.
We did it, and the same thing. It was small. There we met the guy. The guy was pretty cool. He showed us around a little bit, and they were actually coming in to set up.
Yeah, usually you can meet Rick if they're not on a taping day. I mean, he's working the floor.
Yeah,
so.
They were all in the back. They were doing taping and stuff. So,
amazing.
But it was interesting.
Lovely
it was kind
trip.
of fun.
Well, you had a great time. Yeah.
The best viewing, the best show we went to.
Yeah, tell me.
Sitting on the sidewalk. People were just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
But we saw a Cirque du Soleil. We saw, and we went in Excalibur, saw the cheesy thing with the horses and the sword fights.
God, I wish I were married to this guy. This is a great vacation.
Well, who's the guy? Chris Angel.
The magician.
And he was
sort of on the edge. He's an edgy
magician, but he's very big on levitation.
Yeah.
And so one of the last tricks he did was right in the middle of the stage, levitates himself up and right off the stage, and then seconds later shows up about 4 rows behind us.
That's cool.
That was nicely done. And we're down. We're probably about 10 rows off of the stage. And he's wrapping up this run.
Yeah,
he's actually going to be doing a different show starting next year. And
how long a show does a magician do? Is it an hour?
Jesus, he ran easily an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah. So his mother was actually there in the audience. And she was a couple rows behind us. So so it was kind of nice. So he introduced her, and so it was
Lovely.
really it was a really nice show. The Cirque show was cool.
Oh, yeah.
It was the one in the Bellagio. The Bellagio's the one with the fountains.
Yes.
And our window looked out over the parking garage, and Eiffel Tower is right out front there. The big Paris balloon.
Oh my God, help me!
So if you watch,
how did you get? Did you go online and do this all online? Did you go to an agent? How did you get? Did you plan your trip?
Honestly, the best deal I got was from AARP.
Oh, listen to that.
And this isn't a plug for AARP, but I'm saying that because Marion just picked on me as I've been avoiding telling people I'm a member. And says now I'm like, whoa, that was worth it.
It's one of the best magazines ever, and in that magazine you can find some great deals. Yeah. Hey, everybody, 6:55 in the morning. Hey, I was in Chicago, so I'm watching this documentary. You got to see this great documentary on Netflix. It's on Chicago, on the band Chicago. What was the original name of the band Chicago?
Chicago Transit Authority.
Yeah, right.
CTA.
Yeah, and they're very interesting because they branded themselves, didn't they? And they branded themselves in a way that other bands don't. Almost similar to Rolling Stones at that tongue, right? The letters of Chicago. You pictured that.
But many bands over the years have done that. Think of Elvis. Elvis and
with the lights,
with the big orange letters.
Yeah.
Yellow letters.
A lot of people do that. And before you get off and do your thing with the song, we have a Chicago tribute band coming to Westfield next May. We're going to be at the Westfield Technical Academy. It's called Chicago Total Access. These guys are phenomenal.
Oh my God, we are. Oh God,
it's going to be. You'll be hearing more about it after the first of the year. This is actually going to be a benefit for the Westfield Police Auxiliary, and a thank you to all they do.
Oh my God,
around
they can't do more for us. Pumpkin Fest and our Lantern Light Parade on December 1st this year is all because of the Auxiliary Police. So, at any rate, do you know name 2 big hits by the Chicago Transit Authority?
The original version?
No.
25 or 6 to 4.
Saturday in the Park. Those are the
Saturday
ones
in the Park.
knows.
How about Make Me Smile?
No.
You don't know Color My World? Make Me Smile?
I'm sure I've heard it.
Well, they were. I found this out in the documentary. It was from a larger piece that they wrote called Ballet for Gene Buchanan. Do you know this? From there, and it goes on forever.
Gene Buchanan.
I guess, or was it Joan Buchanan or Gene Buchanan? Maybe John Buchanan, for all I know. It's some Buchanan.
President Buchanan.
President Buchanan. But they wrote this big ballet for this thing, and within the ballet, Color My World was part of it, as well as Make Me Smile. And Make Me Smile is just you'll recognize this song the minute you hear it.
I'm sure. Well,
but it's taken from a long, very long, and very difficult piece to play. Let's put it that way. So let's hear a short version of Make Me Smile. But note that it's from a larger piece. All right, 6:58 in the morning, everyone.
Children play in the park. They don't know I'm alone in the dark. Even though time and time again I see your face smiling inside. I'm so happy that you love me. Oh, yeah, life is lovely. Oh, when you're near me, tell me you will stay, make me smile. Living life is just a game, so they say. All the games we used to play fade away. We may now enjoy the dreams we shared so long ago. Oh, my darling, oh, got to have you. Yeah, feel the magic. Ooh, when I hold you. Cry sweet tears of joy, touch the sky. Now I need you, oh yeah, more than ever. Oh yeah, no more crying. Ooh, we're together. Tell me you will stay, make me smile.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
He rules the roost on Thursday from 6 till 10. It's Patrick Berry.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It's November 6, 2018, and counting. A very important day in America. It's voting day. Please get out and vote. And if you are not able to vote because you haven't registered, remember what it feels like to be on the outskirts today. And next week or soon, register to vote. It's our duty and a very important thing. So, at any rate,
the entrance music?
Yeah, let's do that entrance music. Wow, it's Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Bob Plass. I'm here with the nerd of the knobs of November, Peter Coles at the switchboard, JPEG, Luca, Trusty, Dusty, Lusty, Musty, and Crusty Sidekick, and
live from poolside in East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, here's Mark Auerbach,
critic extraordinaire.
I sort of like that entrance. Thank you very much. Good morning, guys.
And I've got to ask, are your toes cold?
The whole body is cold. There was no problem finding a lounge chair, and I think that's because people have already gone to Starbucks to get their expensive lattes in the new red cups so they could look chic at the polls.
Oh, they're chic at the polls. Oh, that's true today. Looking chic at the polls. How do you look chic at the polls? I don't
know. The important thing is to go to the polls.
Yes,
it doesn't
absolutely.
matter. I mean, you could wear last year's outfit. That's just fine.
Even white shoes.
You could turn it back and wear something from the 1950s, because if we don't all vote correctly, we could be back in the 1950s.
There we are. We're those poodle skirts.
Exactly.
Yeah. What did you in the 1950s? Do you remember what you? I remember specifically what I was wearing in the 1970s, because I had that spandex kind of look to me, and those shirts that had like horses on them, and they went all over. What do you call those? Spandex? No.
I had the big mustache and
polyester.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. But I don't remember 1950. With you, do you, Mark?
I remember nothing about the 1950s. I was around for part of them. I'd have to go look at pictures my mother took of me.
Okay.
But
I can picture that. I'm sure you were wearing a little bow tie.
But she dressed all of us like Steigers and Forbes and Wallace cute, but it's nothing. I mean, I would never go for that look now. Let me put it that way.
No, in the 60s, you remember the Prince Spaghetti commercial with Anthony running down the north end of Boston? That's what I looked like in the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s. Yeah. That was me.
Did you have polyester in your life ever?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And how about you, Marco?
I did, and actually, like a fool, I bought a leisure suit.
What color?
It was in gray, because I had to have certain colors in terms of what was acceptable at work, and gray was one of those colors. And I remember wearing it, and if it was the least bit of humidity, the thing clung in all the wrong places. It was an uncomfortable thing to wear.
Oh my gosh! And I smoked during the 70s. I smoked cigarettes during the 70s. I think they were cigarettes. At any rate, and if you dropped an ash on your polyester, there would be this huge hole. I mean, it would be like a ripple in a pool, sort of. And they were the most god awful look, god awful. And Nehru, the Nehru jacket. I had forgotten totally about that.
I remember coming home from college, And for some family occasion, and people were taking photographs, and it was one of those dress-up family occasions.
Sure.
And when I see the bell-bottom pants that I wore and the platform shoes and some of the other things that everybody thought was cool, and I look at these now and I think even the Smithsonian wouldn't want them. And if I were to clean out the closet, if I had any of this stuff and were to take it to Goodwill, they wouldn't want it either.
Yeah. I don't think I have. Is there a piece of polyester from the 70s in your closet right now?
No.
No. Peter, do you have any? No. And Johnny,
it wouldn't fit me either because in the 70s I was very, very small.
Oh, were you? Gotcha. Well,
I do remember wearing it. I remember corduroy jeans.
Oh, well, I still wear corduroys. And turtlenecks were in back then too, and I still wear them.
Okay.
Are they still okay?
Yeah,
I can't find them.
I think corduroys are coming back though.
I love corduroys. There's nothing like a winter day with corduroy or fall day with corduroy. Yeah. You have corduroy stuff, don't you, Marco?
I wear lots of cord. I have cord jackets. I have cord pants. I happen to like it in colder weather.
Oh, I love it, and I like the when you have an elbow protector.
Patch? Yes.
The patch? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful you're not walking in a quiet room because between the legs goes.
Oh, yeah, electricity. Hey, yeah, Marco, what have you been up to? We've not talked for a month. Have you been around?
I have been around. I have been very busy because, as you know, one of my clients is the Capitol Steps.
I was thinking,
satire group.
Yeah.
And not only is their Washington show busy, but they've got 4 touring companies, and they are booked solid and through the holidays. So I've been helping the various companies around, in various towns around the country where they're performing, market and promote them. So I have been incredibly busy since before Labor Day.
Yeah.
But based on how the election turns out today, hopefully we're going to have a lot of new material.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And things will quiet down on that front. Plus, it's been a busy theater season this fall. There have been a lot of shows. In fact, the next 2 weeks, after tonight, I don't cover anything till Thanksgiving, which is really terrific.
Oh, but you've been like almost out every other night or so? Is that how it works?
I've been covering 2 shows a week.
Gotcha.
Pretty much. And there's been some really good theater around. Some of it has just kept me on a high ever since, one being The Drowsy Chaperone, which is running at good speed through Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh, yeah. I'm still going to get down and see that. I got to get to see that.
That was just terrific. The national tour of Fiddler on the Roof, the production that was in New York in 2015, just launched, and that opens at the Bushnell tonight, so I'm going to try to get to that.
So to explain this, because Fiddler on the Roof, I toured with Fiddler on the Roof, oh my God, and then 70s, speaking of polyester, Fiddler on the Roof has been around since the 60s, is it? It
opened in 1964, and the 50th anniversary production was done at Goodspeed Musical, and it was directed by Rob Ruggiero from Theater Works in Hartford, and as far as I'm concerned, was the best production of Fiddler that I ever saw, and I was in 2 productions of it.
Yeah.
I've seen it a number of times. But it was revived on Broadway the next year, and that
the production from Goodspeed or a different production?
No, a different production, staged by Bartlett Sher, who staged... Oh God!
I know. Light in the Piazza, South Pacific,
and stuff at Lincoln Center, the new Carousel, and stuff. And this particular production has just launched its tour. Hartford is its 3rd stop.
Is this the one that has a darker version to it?
It's slightly darker, but you know when you think about Fiddler and what's happened in our country in the last 2 weeks, at the end of Fiddler. And I'm not giving it away. Everybody knows the show. It's a classic. At the end of Fiddler, a group of peasants who have been tormented are leaving Shtetl in Russia to go to the United States for a better life. And you think about these people walking across Europe in the same way that there are immigrants walking across Mexico to come here.
Yeah.
And they leave because they're the victims of anti-Semitism. a wedding is attacked by a Russian pogrom. And in the same way that a group of Jewish people were killed in their synagogue praying on a Saturday in Pittsburgh, and there's something about Fiddler and the universality of it,
and the
timelessness of it, that I think in going to see it tonight with the things going on in Mexico and Pittsburgh in my mind, I wonder what kind of point of view I'm going to have.
That's a brilliant analysis of watching a show, and a show that is timeless can apply to any generation. And, you know, when we think of Broadway musicals, I think that Fiddler is right up there as almost a perfect musical. Am I right?
Well, you know, it's one of those shows that has been done all over the world, been translated. I mean, the Japanese production was done in Japanese.
Sure.
The Israeli production was done in Hebrew. And it's been done in almost every country, and it's done by community theaters. There were over 500 productions of it in the United States in colleges and community theaters this year. So it's got a very universal theme. It's a show that people relate to on a variety of levels.
Yeah, and it's one of those shows that has a score that people know the tunes of. If I Were a Rich Man, Matchmaker.
It does, but it also has themes.
Tradition.
I mean, you know, children wanting to defy tradition, themes of family and the importance of keeping a family together, things like that. That doesn't make a difference where you're from, how you were raised, what you believe in, either politically or religiously or whatever. These themes resonate across all borders. And that's what makes
it was written by Jerry Bach and Sheldon Harnick, and we often think of Rodgers and Hammerstein and Rodgers and Hart, and the great people who have written for the stage. Among them are Bach and Harnick, and most people wouldn't recognize those names, isn't that?
Well, they wouldn't today. I mean, if there was a period of time when they wrote prolifically, they wrote the musical She Loves Me. They wrote Fiorello.
Oh, remember that? Yes, the very political show called Fiorello about the mayor of New York City running in the turn of the century. Yeah, won a Pulitzer Prize.
And there was a revival of Fiorello at Berkshire Theater Group a couple of summers ago, and people, if you ask somebody who LaGuardia was, they think it's the airport in New York.
You're right.
But it's musically a wonderful show, but they didn't write a lot compared to Rodgers and Hammerstein. But there was something about Fiddler on the Roof that made them universal.
Yeah. It's a good movie by Norman Jewison. However, I somehow or other it stars Topol and some unknown folks in it that it didn't have the energy that other shows had, the film version.
It's interesting to see the production at the Bushnell. Because it stars an Israeli television and film star who's quite young. And when you do the math, you realize that Tevye, the milkman in Fiddler on the Roof, with 5 daughters, probably was married off at the age of 18. And so when the youngest daughter is born, that probably every other year there was a child.
Right.
So maybe he was 28 or so when the youngest child was born, and the youngest child is 10. So he's 40 at oldest.
And rather than the old man that I sort of envisioned, the Zero Mostel that played on Broadway. Yeah.
And I mean, if you do the math, I mean, that's probably the way it was in these villages. People got married off as teenagers. They didn't live much past 40.
Yeah.
At the turn of the century.
This musical is based on stories by Shalom Aleichem, right?
It's based on Yiddish folk tales by Shalom Aleichem. It takes place actually in 1905 in a section of Russia that it could, well, I don't know exactly where in Russia it might have been or whether it was Soviet Union, but it was not in urban Russia, in Moscow or St. Petersburg, but somewhere in the shtetls of where Russia and the borders of Eastern Europe
Gotcha.
were.
I think that I recommend folks to watch the movie, even though I like the Broadway show. It's much more lively and exciting, but the movie is worth seeing. Hey, I'm going to play a song from that, but it's an interesting version. But this is by a jazz singer named Marlena Shaw, who had a career in Europe more than in America, and she uses the words of Matchmaker, Matchmaker, and I thought, geez, on voting day, we're trying to match up folks here, and even though this is about love and finding the matchmaker, who incidentally, when people wrote, the guys wrote Fiddler on the Roof, they were going to make Yenta the star of Fiddler on the Roof. He originally was going to be about Yenta, and then they realized that they had a better story with Tevyev, and they focused on Tevyev, and poor Yenta, who was played by Beatrice Arthur, got sort of pushed to the side a bit, but that's the way it goes. But I want you to listen.
I got to tell you, though, I was in 2 different productions of Fiddler.
Who'd you play?
I played Perchik in one. I was Reb Nachum.
Oh, Reb Nachum the Beggar. Yeah. I was Perchik, yes.
I did a whole bunch of things. I did the bottle dance in the
Oh, my gosh.
But in both productions, there was an actress named Joey Jupiter who played Yenta in both productions. And as far as I was concerned, it was Yenta on the Roof because she just stole the show. She was incredibly great.
Yeah.
And she's an actor who lives and works in Los Angeles now, and every once in a while shows up on a TV show.
Really? Joey Jupiter.
Joey Jupiter.
It's a woman. Josephine Jupiter. How do you?
Jupiter.
Josephine Jehoshaphat. At any rate. Hey, so listen to the... Yes, go ahead, Marco.
I can't... When I see her on TV and, in something, and usually it's like a small guest role in, like, Law and Order or something like that, I just crack up because she was the funniest Yenta, the matchmaker ever.
Wild. Well, B. Arthur did a great job. I think she's not in the movie, unfortunately. But, hey, so this is the song, and this jazz singer uses the words, and you have to really work to hear the tune. It's so interesting. And it still is effective, but it really points out the words of the song. So listen to Matchmaker, Matchmaker by jazz singer Marlena Shaw.
Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Find me a find, catch me a catch. Matchmaker, matchmaker, look through your book and make a perfect man. Little matchmaker, you.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Wednesday mornings from 6 till 8, it's Tina Gorman with Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It's November 6, 2018, and we are here.
It's Election Day.
It's Election Day, but
Get out and vote, please.
Yes. And Mark Auerbach, critic extraordinaire, on the phone from Long Meadow. We miss you in the studio, but glad to have you here with us today, Marco.
Well, I'm glad to be there, too. I will be in the studio on Friday morning. So.
Tell us about your show.
Well, it's an Art Speak Radio on Friday, and Storm Large, who is the singer with Pink Martini, and a
Storm Large is the
Pretty
person's
woman.
name?
Pretty woman.
Storm
Ooh.
Large is coming to the Fine Arts Center with her new Christmas show, which is called A Holiday Ordeal, and she's going to join me on the air on Friday morning, plus two of my fellow theater critics, Peter Bergman and Gail Burns, are going to be talking about the Berkshire Theater Critics Awards, which are called the Berkeys. And
yes.
I'm looking forward to that show. And then the following week, I've got Kevin Winkler, who is a former dancer in Bob Fosse musicals from Big Deal.
Oh, I loved Big Deal years ago.
He quit dancing shortly after doing Big Deal with Bob Fosse, and he trained to become an archivist. And about 10 years ago, had got access to the archives of Bob Fosse, and he wrote a book called Big Deal, the Bob Fosse and the American Musical Theater.
Oh, I remember that book, yes.
It just came out this year, and it's been considered to be the #1 retrospective on the career of Bob Fosse, and he's going to join me. We're going to talk dance.
Well, you got to ask him, because I was reading on my Twitter this week about there's a movie in the works called Fosse Verdon. Bob Fosse was married to Gwen Verdon, am I right?
He was, and it was not a long-lived marriage, but after they split up, he continued to be. She was his muse, dance-wise, and he created a lot of roles for her.
And there is that Bob Fosse. There's a musical. What's the musical that was created by? Oh God, it was. Did Bob Fosse do? Oh, he did Cabaret, and then he did another musical.
Movie version of Cabaret, but he did the stage and screen version of Sweet Charity for Gwen Verdon, and then he did Pippin.
Right. But what was that film that he did about a choreographer who was sort of based on his life?
And it was called All That Jazz.
All That Jazz.
It was the story of a choreographer or a director who has a heart attack, and he is in the ICU, and he's having flashbacks of his life. And Jessica Lange played the Angel of Death. And
she's still doing that on American Horror Story, believe me.
Yeah. And it was a great movie.
I remember this. I remember this.
Directorial debut, and then he followed that up with Cabaret.
So you're going to talk about Bob Fosse with this...
With Kevin Winkler, who I'm really excited to talk with.
We have a busy show on Friday.
Oh, man. You know, Mark, you really class it up around here. On Tuesdays, they sort of don't class it up so much. And on Fridays, when you are doing your Arts Beat radio stuff, you really class it up with some great guests. I got to compliment you on that one.
Well, you know, I really like doing it, and these people are so willing to talk about their art or their craft. And one of the things that I found in doing Arts Beat Radio for a little bit over a year is when these people come on the air, whether they come into the studio or we chat with them on the phone, and I think Peter Coles, who is indispensable in making all of this happen.
Right.
Peter,
the nerd of November, as we call him, of the November knobs, canobs.
Yeah. Yes. These people just open up and talk. I mean, they don't have an agenda. Yeah. They're not. I mean, we've had a couple that are pushing their seasons and stuff like that. But most of them just open up and talk, and they're very down to earth. And I could sit and listen to these people for hours.
Yeah.
I love listening to them, actually.
Yeah. And there's nothing better than a theatrical story, a story of theater. You know.
Some of them talk about more than that. I mean, an interview that I did with the composer Alexander Sobronsky, who has composed for the music for The Glass Menagerie at Barrington Stage and The Cake at Barrington Stage, and he's currently composing and acting in the play Indecent at Arena Stage in Washington.
Oh, I love that play, yes.
He talks about music and what music meant to him. And it was just a kind of really inspiring, off-the-cuff conversation. And I'm glad that all of these programs, yours and mine, are on YouTube, on WSKB's channel. So if you want to go back and hear, wow, it's Tuesday from last summer, or one of the Arts Beat Radio interviews, they're all up there.
Oh, I love it. Hey, Marco, it's 7:29 in the morning and today I think it's going to rain today, but it's going to be sunny tomorrow. I hope it's going to be sunny in our hearts as well as in our weather, tomorrow. But 7:30 in the morning, and I've been reading a great book called The Gershwin Years by Ed Jablonski. You got to pick that one up if you can. I don't even think it's maybe in print right now, but I got it through Amazon or on the web. But it talks about Gershwin, and I was so excited to see An American in Paris on television this past Friday.
I streamed it over the weekend. Was that beautiful or what?
Oh, my God. I'm telling you. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it'd be worth going on to pbs.org because I think it may be still streaming. It's the Broadway version. It's the Broadway version of of American in Paris, which is a show that was created really from all the big hits of George Gershwin. I found that, and starring two dancers who actually act and sing, Robert Fairchild and Leanne Cope. Unbelievable. And the staging and the ballet numbers in it. Now, I guess there might be some folks who go, oh, God, I don't want to see a show that has lots of dancing in it. The dancing in the show, Peter, is so exciting.
If it's appropriate to the music and the setting,
man.
sure,
Didn't you think that was one of the highlights of the shows, the show American in Paris, was the dancing, Marco?
The dancing was exquisite. I saw the touring production of that at the Bushnell. I took my best friend to see it. And both of us walked out of there with the biggest smiles on our faces. I thought the dancing was superb, and the sets and the costumes, and of course the music. The music is great, but they took the premise of the ballet and turned it into a bigger story. And I think that of the dance musicals that I've seen, An American in Paris is probably up there in the top 5.
Unbelievable. And you have that chance to see it on pbs.org. They're doing a whole series this month, actually.
They are. And I got to see it. They're on Friday nights or over the weekend you can stream them. And I watched it Saturday afternoon. I just curled up and
God. Yeah.
Spent 2 hours in Fantasyland.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm going to play a George Gershwin song that wasn't in the show. It's called "Somebody Loves Me." It was, I think, one of George Gershwin's first hits as well, and it was from George Gershwin goes from writing, or he's writing all the time, and he's studying all the time. He is putting out piano rolls, and also becomes an accompanist for Broadway show rehearsals. And sooner or later, he gets a chance to write music for George White's Scandals. And for 5 years, he wrote music for George White's Scandals. It was a practice back then, Mark, that they would interpolate other folks' songs in a show. So it wouldn't just be Rodgers and Hammerstein. It would be Rodgers and Hart and George Gershwin or Irving Berlin. Everybody seemed to be writing for these musical reviews, and this was the George White Scandals, sort of like the Ziegfeld Follies, and he wrote "Somebody Loves Me." Nobody knows the scores of any of those Scandals songs except for "Somebody Loves Me," and this was made famous by Cliff Edwards, who played. Cliff Edwards is the famous voice of Jiminy Cricket. Do you know that? Yeah, yeah. When You Wish Upon a Star, but he was called. He was also known as Ukulele Ike. But this was one of his great songs, "Somebody Loves Me," and George Gershwin. This is Jane Monheit's version, who's a wonderful new singer.
This world began, it was heaven's plan. There should be a girl for every single man. To my great regret, someone has upset heaven's pretty program. 'Cause we've never met. I'm clutching at straws just because I may meet him yet. Somebody loves me. I wonder who it can be. Somebody loves me. I wish I knew who he can be or raise me. For every guy that passes by, I hate me. You were meant to be my loving baby. Somebody loves me. I wonder who. Maybe it's you. get you.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It is going to be a rainy day. Is it raining out yet, I wonder? Oh, yeah. As the chamber... Oh, God help me. I can't think and talk and hear at the same time. JPEG, look at you.
Gum to chew?
Yeah. Hey, it is 7:39 in the morning. We're having a great program here with Mark Auerbach, critic extraordinaire from Longmeadow, directly from that pool.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, guys. It's a little wet at the pool.
Is it?
I've moved it indoors.
Now, yes, I can imagine you're indoors right now and you're sitting there. Has the maid made you breakfast yet or anything?
We don't have household help. I'm a working dude. You know, what can I say?
Why don't you have an indoor pool yet?
Because I live in a condo. There's no room. I need an Olympic-sized indoor pool, and the condo's too small.
Oh, the hot tub ain't going to do it.
Oh, huh? God, yeah, no. Hey, I'm wondering, you mentioned this woman named Storm Large. Explain. Storm Large. I can't imagine. She's from Pink Martini, which I know.
From the lounge band Pink Martini. That's where most people know her from. But she's a singer, songwriter, actor, absolutely terrific songster. And she's bringing her national tour. It's called Storm Large's Holiday Ordeal to the UMass Fine Arts Center. It's their holiday show. She's originally from outside Worcester, and she toured through the area a couple of years ago, and she was at the Colonial in Pittsfield. And she did a show at City Stage. And so I ran down there to see it. It wasn't something I was planning to review, but just wanted to see her. And the show, the City Stage was full of a lot of her relatives and family that had never seen her perform. And they drove in from Worcester and Sturbridge and stuff like that. And she did a couple of standards. She had toured in cabaret.
Right.
And so she did one or two songs.
She's a pretty woman.
Beautiful, beautiful woman.
Yeah.
She did some of the work that she's known for at Pink Martini, and she did some of her original stuff. And her 1 hour set was just mesmerizing.
Really? Now explain to everybody what Pink Martini is. When we say cocktail, it's lounge music, but is it more like gypsy jazz or what?
They're kind of a pop and jazz orchestra. They perform on their own. They perform with other symphony orchestras. They do a mix of music, pop music from other countries, things that, pop music from France and from Brazil. They do some standards. They do some original works. And they've got a group of people that perform with them that are just phenomenal musicians. And one of the people that sings with them quite a bit is, for those of you that listen to National Public Radio, you know the news anchor of All Things Considered is Ari Shapiro.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Ari Shapiro is one of the soloists with Pink Martini.
So
if he's not doing the news, you can catch him out on the road singing, and they've written some material for him. It's absolutely terrific.
Would it be something similar to Postmodern Jukebox?
They're very similar to Postmodern Jukebox, and Postmodern Jukebox was just at the Mahawi in Great Barrington.
Oh, just a great group. Yeah, I love postmodern jukebox. As you know, I haven't played them in a long while. I should look up their new stuff because they're always coming out with great stuff online. Mark, we should probably talk about the Laramie Project, huh?
We should. 20 years ago, last month, Matthew Shepard, a young teenager, college student at the University of Wyoming in Laramie, was brutally assaulted and killed. And his body was left on a fence post outside of Laramie. It was a hate crime against a young gay man. It made international headlines. And there was a theater company in New York called the Tectonic Theater, and they went to Laramie to interview the townspeople about their reactions to the murder. And they ended up putting it into a play called The Laramie Project, which probably is one of the most earth-shattering plays you could ever sit through when you realize that even since this murder 20 years ago, there are so many states that do not have hate crime protection legally in place. But at any rate, there was a sequel to the Laramie Project done 10 years after Matthew Shepard's murder, and this year was the 20th anniversary of his murder.
Yes,
his ashes were interred last week or the week before at the National Cathedral in Washington, where his family knew that he would be safe. They thought that if they buried his ashes somewhere, people would come after them. So they held on, and they were offered a place at the National Cathedral. At any rate, a small theater company in Pittsfield called the Witt Theater is doing a production of the Laramie Project at the end of the month. And it doesn't get done that often. I saw it at the University of Connecticut, Connecticut Repertory Theater a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a mind-boggling show. It is so intense.
It really is. It's a thoughtful show for this time in life that we're going through in America about hate and about a town that is trying to come to grips with the idea that somebody has been brutally murdered for who they were. And I really would recommend this. And where is this theater that they are producing the Laramie Project?
The Whitney Center for the Performing Arts in Pittsfield. And I wish I had their website. I'm going to try to find it while we're talking.
Yeah.
And give people the website because I think that it's a play worth seeing. And this is a community theater that's doing it, and that doesn't really make a difference.
No, not at all. The words are the important thing, I think, here. Yeah, I think all of the actors play actual people in Laramie who from the police chief right on down who discovered the body
and they have the murderers when they were arrested spoke freely about what they did, and so you have townspeople. It's a university town. You have people that are intelligent and educated people. You have people that are farmers that are not educated, and so you have a town that's in the middle of nowhere. That's primarily, if it wasn't for the University of Wyoming being there, would be a rail town and a farm town.
Right.
And in rural America, and how they responded.
If somebody wanted, was there a movie version of this?
There's somehow been a television version.
Television might be on YouTube. It might be worth seeing. I think if you're not able to get to Pittsfield.
The website is thewhit, WHIT.org. It's called the Whitney Center for the Arts. They're on Wendell Street in Pittsfield, and there are performances happening on Friday, November 30th, Saturday, December 1st, and Sunday, December 2nd. And December 1st would have been the 40th birthday of Matthew Shepard.
40 years old this young man would have been. He could have had a great life if it wasn't for hate,
His parents, I've got to hand it to his parents, they are activists, and they have worked ever since the day of his murder to make sure that hate crimes are enacted in the country and that homophobia and terrorism and hate towards gays, lesbians, bisexuals, transgender, and all that hate is erased, and they are tireless advocates and volunteers. And how this family changed in the wake of a young man's murder.
Sure.
Incredible.
Sure. There's a transgendered question on the ballot today. Do you want to talk about that, or shall we move on?
I think basically the Massachusetts has laws that protect transgender people, and this ballot initiative is the question: should the state continue to protect them or not? And a vote yes on question number 3 keeps those protections in place. And I think it's important that we protect all people.
Yes. Okay. And it begins by protecting those that are minorities in a population, and we've got to protect all. And this is what Dennis Shepard, the father of Matthew Shepard, said: "Hate of all kinds is just below the surface. It erupts into the public view and attention." Public view and attention when the haters are allowed to not only come out in public, but are allowed to stay in public and to publicly demonstrate their hate in words and actions. This freedom for haters was on full display in Pittsburgh during the Tree of Life synagogue tragedy last week. You know what? If that's happening now in America, it can happen again, and we've got to protect everyone, all people, from hatred. So think about that when you're voting. I guess it's a yes vote on the question number 3 on the ballot for me, and even for Peter, my trusty Republican
over here. You seem to be so surprised by that.
No, I'm not surprised at all. You're a good supporter. You're a great ally. Hey, Mark, I'm going to play a song for my Wisconsin folks. It is actually John Prine. Do you like John Prine at all?
Yeah.
John Prine had a new album out called "The Tree of Forgiveness" this year, and I love John Prine's music. And this one is a really fine song from John Prine from the album "The Tree of Forgiveness," and it is called where did I find it? What's the name of this song here, Peter?
I don't know. It'd be helpful so I could play it.
Oh, it would be helpful. Yes.
While you're looking for that, I should say I should do a shout out to Maureen out there. Who just gave me a call. We played the War of the Worlds, or Pete replayed the War of the Worlds, which is a radio show that we staged here in town.
Right, sure.
And she didn't hear the original of a few years ago, but she heard this, and all she's hearing is Patrick is running up East Mountain Road. and
we got somebody.
And she's a little bit nervous for a minute.
We finally got somebody.
And I'm going, gee, it means a lot. I feel like Orson Welles now.
Oh, my God.
Thank you, Maureen. That was a huge, pleasant call. That was just a perfect call.
Very nice, very nice. So, John Prine, from the Tree of Forgiveness, Summer's End. It is the end of summer, and it's always on view when we get to vote in November. Here it is, John Prine.
Summer's ends around the bend just flying. The swimming suits are on the line just drying. I'll meet you there for our conversation. I hope I didn't ruin your whole vacation. Well, you never know how far from home you're feeling until you've watched the shadows cross the ceiling. Well, I don't know, but I can see it snowing. In your car, the windows are wide open. Just come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home. Valentine's break hearts and minds at random. That old Easter egg ain't got a leg to stand on. Well, I can see that you can't win for trying. And New Year's Eve is bound to leave you crying. Come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home. The moon and stars hang out in bars just talking. I still love that picture of us walking, just like that old house we thought was haunted. Summers then came faster than we wanted. Come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Come on home. Come on home. You don't have to be alone. Just come on home.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Underwriting for community radio is provided by the YMCA of Greater Westfield. Every day, the YMCA strengthens the community through programs and services focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. For all the Y's many programs and services, visit us on the web at www.westfieldymca.org. The YMCA, 67 Court Street in downtown Westfield. We're more than a gym. We're a cause. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday. It's November 6th, Voting Day, 2018. Hey, Mark Auerbach, critic extraordinaire on the phone. We're winding down here. I just wanted to ask you, it's Christmas season coming up, holiday season, and you've got some stuff. I've been working on Decemberfest, which is the new name for Dickens Days, and we have all kinds of events that are happening in Westfield under the name Decemberfest this year, including our Lantern Light Parade and our Santa's Family Workshop on December 1st, a new date. We have a house tour, and we have we've got a Jubilee of Trees happening. We've got some great new stuff, and you're going to be seeing in the newspapers in the coming weeks all this stuff about the holiday season. And you have a couple of holiday shows to tell us about. What are those?
Well, there's quite a few, and one, first of all, A Christmas Carol comes back to Hartford Stage and the Berkshire Theater Group. They're different productions.
Oh, yeah.
Always worth going to see.
One's a musical, one's a straight play. Am I right?
No. They're both
sort of
straight plays. The one at Hartford Stage has all kinds of bells and whistles and special effects. Mm-hmm. The one at Berkshire Theater Group at the Colonial in Pittsfield is a little bit more homespun.
Yeah, they had James Taylor as Bob Cratchit a couple of years back.
They did several years ago. Eric Hill stars this year as Scrooge in the one at Berkshire Theater.
That's the one I want to go to.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And, at Theater Works in Hartford, they have for the 5th year Christmas on the Rocks, which is a series of short plays by various playwrights about the Christmas characters that we knew as children in Christmas movies that are now grown up and adults, and they come back and they're all dysfunctional.
Like who? Like, give me an example of
like Clara in the Nutcracker. Who was everybody's little girl in the movie, and there's millions of Nutcrackers around, and she is a vodka swigging drunk.
Oh my gosh!
Finds out that her prince ran off with the Nutcracker, and life has become very dysfunctional for her. Christmas on the Rocks is hysterically funny, and it'll be at Theater Works during the holiday season.
And down in Hartford.
Yeah. And there's some other productions. I'm working on a column right now for Westfield News that will run Thanksgiving week with all of the things to catch up on this holiday. But the Springfield Symphony, for example, does its annual holiday pops, and they've got Bryn Cartelli joining them this year.
Oh, great.
That should make it kind of cool. And the Hartford
Bryn Cartelli is the winner of The Voice, who is from around here. Yes. Love all places. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got other guests showing up that are not typical to their holiday pops, which will make it different. And
Yes.
And in Hartford, they're the Hartford Symphony is bringing in Leslie Odom Jr., who won the Tony Award for Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
So talk about a holiday pop that's completely different.
Yeah. Oh,
and
it's exciting.
The big holiday show this year is a musical called Hamilton that opens at the Bushnell on December 11th and runs through December 30th. Technically, it's sold out, but they may release some tickets closer to showtime. So check the Bushnell's website at bushnell.org to see if there are tickets for Hamilton and how you can get in.
Oh my gosh! I wouldn't that be the greatest Christmas gift ever to get to see my favorite Lin-Manuel Miranda's great Hamilton show. Hey, Marco, we've had a great hour. I appreciate your work. We can read all about you in the West, or read all about your write. No, how do you say it?
You can read what I write.
His column.
In print, it's on Thursdays. Online, it's on Wednesdays. But every week there's an arts beat, and then I review shows, and you can see the reviews separately. And on Fridays, I'm sitting where you are right now, chatting with Peter Coles and a bunch of cool people.
I love it.
Beat Radio.
Oh, fabuloso, fabuloso. Hey, we're going to go out today with a great song from Bruce Springsteen on Broadway. The new album this to buy for Christmas is Bruce Springsteen on Broadway. He won a Tony Award for this show, and it's going to be the soundtrack of this. And this is, I thought it was appropriate for our voting day. Get out there and vote, everybody. Mark, it's called The Land of Hope and Dreams. This is Bruce Springsteen on Broadway. Talk to you next week. Get out there and volunteer, and get out there and vote, and talk to you soon.
Thunder's rolling down this track. Well, you don't know where you're going now, but you know you won't be back. Well, darling, if you're weary, lay your head upon my chest. We'll take what we can carry and we'll leave the rest. Well, big wheels roll through fields where sunlight streams. Oh, meet me in a land of hope and dreams. Well, I will provide for you, and I'll stand by your side. You'll need a good companion now. Oh, for this part of the ride. Yeah, leave behind your sorrows. Let this day be the last. Well, tomorrow there'll be sunshine and sunshine, and all this darkness pass. Well, big wheels roll through fields where sunlight streams. Oh, meet me in a land of hope and dreams. Well, this train carries saints and sinners. This train carries losers and winners. This train carries whores and gamblers. This train carries lost souls. I said this train carries broken-hearted. This train thieves and sweet souls departed. This train carries fools and kings, Lord. This train all aboard. I said now this train dreams will not be thwarted. This train faith will be rewarded. This train, you're the steel wheels singing. This train, bells of freedom ringing. Well, big wheels roll through fields where sunlight streams. Oh, meet me in a land of hope and dreams. Oh, meet me in a land of hope and
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. Ken's Den, Tuesday, 8 to 10. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.